Hello everyone, happy weekend. It's almost over with, but I was able to finish up this journal. I'm calling this the scrapbook. So I took pieces of antique diary and pieces of an antique scrapbook, some antique calling cards, pieces of an antique autograph book, and I made a story out of them. So I have the name Jenny Jones here and a picture of this very pretty lady who is now Jenny Jones. This pretty book cover that was actually a furniture book, believe it or not, and I have some pretty lace on the binding and just a simple seam binding with a buckle to close her. Just easy to slide on and off. So I stuffed it a little bit, but let's go inside. I was imagining her saving memorabilia from her, life and her friends. She's a young woman, so this is a crochet lace pocket and some beautiful antique lace that I thought went really nicely with the lace in her hair. I put it in, I just tucked in some pins to tuck it on there, so you can remove it if you like. I tried to make sure the pins were tucked in so you don't get pinched. And then here's a pretty lady with another piece of this lace just added to her picture here. And on the back I just have some vintage book page. I like to use the end papers from the books and use them to back my photos because they're already aged. It's pretty papers, aren't they? I just loved the colors. They're wallpaper sample book, I think, is what this is based on, but I really kind of fell in love with the colors, and I did coffee dye them, but I only coffee dyed them slightly. I didn't want them too dark. I liked the brightness of them, but they needed a little bit of something, so I did the coffee dye, and you can see these are lighter pages than normal, but you can see the coffee dye on these. And so here's a great picture of a lady posing, and I have her with this piece of an antique 1913 postcard. So I tucked her in there. The postcard's from Niagara Falls, so I thought that looked like she was traveling. And this is a piece of a vintage hanky and very old mother of pearl button that I just tucked up there. Look pretty with the paper there. I did a little bit of stamping on the paper, not a lot, just to give it, I felt like people might write in it or she might write notes in it. I like all the colors in here. Here's a graduation photo, and I thought this looked like she was studious. And I put on the back from an old book page, so fair, so false. And then a lot of blank pages for writing. I used blue thread on this, which I don't use very often, but I like the look of it with the papers. I stamped a rose. I have the ladies just hanging on the fence there, and then we got 3 ladies here bicycling. These are all copies of antique photos that I've collected over the years. And I have a stamp here that says, "If my ship sails from your sight, it doesn't mean the journey ends, it just means the river bends." I thought it was appropriate for, friendships and saying goodbye. More color. Someone had written underneath, this was out of an antique photo album, it says "working hard," so I'm not sure what, she doesn't look like she's working hard, but she's posed up on a wagon, and then I added this little sheet music, "Then You'll Remember Me." I thought that was something that you might put in a scrapbook. Just a little bit more stamping on the pages. Aren't these colors wonderful? I love them. I have this antique lace bow and an antique mother of pearl button on the bow here. These pretty ladies sitting together, and I inserted a couple of calling cards. These are antique calling cards that I was blessed that a friend gave these to me. They were among her mother's things. Her mother collected things and went to a lot of estate sales, and she gave them to me hoping that I would put some use to them. So that's what I'm doing, and I thought the colors were just beautiful in here. But you know, we've got Desi and Jenna, so I'm gonna call them Desi and Jenna here. I'm naming our ancestors here. More stamping, more pretty pages. I love this picture of the ladies drinking. Such a fun picture. I'm not sure if it's root beer or beer, but it looks like fun. And then this is ladies dressed as men drinking. So I just thought this was a fun, she's having fun with her friends. What a fun group. Something you would definitely put in a scrapbook. And then knitting. So this is a little more of a modern picture, but I love the two ladies here knitting together. And this is from the cover of some sheet music. So I just kind of sewed these two pieces together to make a pocket. And then this is a page from an antique, well, I think it's from the 20s, an antique diary. I think I have more writing in the back, but it says Anna Mae came in and we did some knitting. So I just thought that was fun. And I believe this is actually crocheted, but I thought it was fun here. Close enough. This lovely lady is reading, and I have some lace here. I thought the colors just went beautifully here. And then I tucked in this little piece that is from an antique autograph book, and it's got a little die cut on it, and actually roses are red, violets are blue, pinks are sweet, and so are you. August 1886. And then on the back there's more writing from 1888. So what a lovely piece to have in here. Something else you keep in a scrapbook, right? Ladies at the beach, and I framed this lady, and I have a piece from her diary that says Leona went to the shore. So this is now Leona, and then this is another excerpt from the diary that talks about tomorrow Leona is going to the shore. So we went to the show tonight. Fred McMurray, it looks like, and Carol Lombard. Interesting. Kind of fun reading. This lady loved to go to the theater, so she had some fun posts in her diary. Great picture. It says tiny with a question mark, so not sure what the meaning of that was, but I like the look of the two of them. This is from that photo album, and another piece from the diary. We went to the Ambassador, saw Love in Exile, pretty awful. And it was Bing and Bob, swell as usual. Cute, right? Swell. And then, let's see. Blank pages, little stamping, really pretty colors, right? Piece of antique lace, crochet lace, another antique postcard from 1912, and this sweet lady just sitting in the garden with her pretty coat, and another book page on the back. Some more blank pages. Here's a part of a vintage hanky with embroidery. and a happy birthday card. There was another piece of a birthday on her diary, an earlier page, and then on this page it says, Mother and Daddy gave me my birthday present because I'm sick, and a radio for my room. Thought that was sweet together. And then in the back we've got this beautiful hat she's wearing, so I thought this would be lovely on a hat. Piece of antique black lace underneath it. This is not real velvet, but feels flocked. A nice little rhinestone there, and another hat button, hat pin here, like she's got a hat pin in her hat there. So I thought that was nice together. So that's the little scrapbook, and there's some pockets in here to tuck things in if you're interested. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Thank you.